a force of good?
Are we?
Hey!
Oh, we are. Hey, hello, watchers of the time stream, Bingleheads and blowhards alike. Whether you're joining us from Daltothune, Kippleturn, certain Barn Winkberg, or from Night Drift at the City of Scrap, pull up a chair, conjure a table, and get comfortable. Hi, I'm Jess, FailWaffle, and this is
Ingrid, and I'm Vandurslice.
which I feel you guys know this all by now, but we're cool. And yeah, welcome to a very cool last minute Watchers Party edition, where we're going to break down the episode, talk about stuff that really stood out to us. We're going to do my favorite. We have a very special trivia section today. And then my also favorite segment, we're going to do an interview with the watcher. And today we have Gorbin Plade on to kind of get to know him, and Ingrid a little bit more. But first, I want to shout out a couple of people. I want to shout out Baron Wilderness for doing our amazing Watch Party logo. Kaz Farron for basically transcribing everything, which I printed from the episode. And thank you for Mononism. Duran dude guy. He knows I love him. He's the one who supplied the intro music. So yeah. Hi guys. Oh my god, everybody's here. It's so exciting. I want to shout out Vandurslice for being more professional than me and putting this amazing backdrop, I just anyway. How are you doing today, girl?
I'm doing good. I wrangled with this bed sheet right behind me, so that way you don't see all my crap behind me. So that's me being professional. Maybe I'll iron it someday. Who knows?
They'll have to stay tuned, huh?
Yeah. We'll see how this turns out.
Okay, so before, I know you and I put together some very in-depth combos we want to talk about.
Yes.
But I was thinking we could give some brief, just overview thoughts of the episode. Okay. And so for me, I want to say that, oh my gosh, the entire episode, it gets into the point where I'm so stressed out that Civ is actually going to convince the freaking party to kill Whitebeard. And I'm stressing. I need him to hang on there a little bit longer. And so every time I'm just like, is he going to do it? Is he going to convince them? Is this happening? So it's very stressful for me. And Civ is not my friend right now. But yeah, so there's that. And I also want to say that it's so good. Yes, last episode was a perfect balance between, the battle and some character development and some confrontation and some bomb drops. It had everything. It was such a good episode.
It just had a little bit of everything in it. There was definitely some the nail biters. There were some let's do this and some absolute some tomfoolery going on, having a late night drunk, hey, let's get this see Hag escaped kind of a thing, and oh no, don't look at her, but everyone's tempted to look at her. It was an incredibly good episode. I think there was a lot more chalked into this episode than we've seen in a while. I mean, there's been quite a bit with this Ein part of the story, but I feel like this episode was really full of a lot of different things that we could talk about. We could talk about this stuff for like 4 hours tonight.
Oh my god, yeah, we totally could. There's my professionalism reaching out again, guys. Yeah, no, we could. So where do you want to start? Because you know me, I'll just ramble. Where do you want to start, girl?
Let's just start from the beginning. Let's start off with that battle with that horrible smelling spore plant. I mean, the kind of attacks that sucker was putting out there. It was grappling and it was sneezing all over everything with spores, and then it spit at everything. Like it had a lot of interesting stuff stocked into it. Like it even animated some of the dead. This is a plant not to be trifled with, and I'm really glad that James had the thought in his head that, oh no, I've gotten hit twice really bad, and this thing has vines. We need to fly now. And I'm so happy that he thought of flight on the fly, and that really, I think, saved their butts quite a bit, and just took them away. And I'm afraid that they probably would have activated another plant. Who's to say that there weren't just like 5 of them sitting down there?
I was thinking that. I actually had the thought, if they stayed on the ground, even just like spell wise, or what other properties could have ensued if they did stay on the ground?
Well, I mean, it animated a dog. And
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a bunch of other bodies. I mean, it could have been serious zombie land going on down there if James had not said, okay, we're going to go up now.
Well, and that's, I think, what makes James so brilliant. I think him and Lily are both good at thinking on the fly. And
yes.
So it's funny how, everyone was so worried, like, why are the 2 mages going? Which is so true, but they are the quick thinkers also in the battles as well. So that was, I know I told you this, but in chat the whole time I'm freaking out, and I literally kept asking chat, like, guys, is fleeing a thing in D&D, and how does that work? Because I was getting to the point where I was afraid they were gonna have to like run or die.
Right. In particular, James, because that plant was targeting him. It wasn't really doing much for Lily, but it was after him. And I think he lost, Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think James lost well over half of his hit points. So yeah, it was going after him.
I think he said he was like a little below half, or maybe more. I think he was hurting.
Yeah.
I don't remember
James
how many
says
times.
I was at 11 out of 52 by the end of it. So yeah, that's quite a lot. I think one more hit and James would have been Dunskies.
Yeah, no, that was so dangerously close. And do you? I was gonna ask you later, but do you? Do you play D&D? Like, do you know much about D&D?
I do play a little bit. I'm not super savvy on D&D. My husband is definitely the rules guy, and he's actually our DM for our new group that we're doing between some family and friends and stuff. But I've done a little bit of D&D. I started off with a really hard campaign a few years ago, and I would not suggest going with an incredibly hard campaign to start off with, because it was
the reason I asked is because I know everyone is in the battle and I don't blame them, but I was like, if they flee, how did that look? Can they just do they just move their distance out of the battle zone, or like, I don't know how fleeing works in D&D.
I think it's a lot like if you want to step out of the creature's attack zone on your turn, like you want to step away from it and basically move away from it, it will get an attack of opportunity.
Right, I know that.
And in some cases, the DM, I doubt Jeff would ever do this to him, but in some cases, you flee a battle. If you ever go back and fight it again, it can be even harder or worse, especially if you bring more people into it. So it just makes sense to the DM, from my understanding, but don't take it from me. I'm not a super D&D guru. I just play it and ask for help all the time.
No. This is, you have to remember, when we do this, we are the unofficial experts. So what we say goes. Unofficial.
Sure, it's like you politely ask the enemy to look behind them and then run.
That would be me, Jared. Bye. That'd be me.
Pardon me. Sure. I see something over there. Can you get bye?
No, see, that makes sense, because someone in chat was saying, like, no, they can't leave. It'll be harder when they come back. Someone said something along the lines of, or they can't come back or something. And I was like, they can't? I don't know how it works. I don't know. But yeah, I was definitely fearful for them the entire time. Genuinely. But they held their own. So kudos to James and Lily.
Right. And that amazing Eldritch blast shot from way up on top of the map. That was not only an epic shot to take, but it was also an epic theatrical thing that they did in that game room. It looked so stinking cool. Hats off to the crew for putting that together. Awesome. That was nice.
It made it so, like, I'm a huge, fan of like using the imagination of the mind, but like having the battle thing there, it just made it more intense almost.
Yes.
And like, just to see how they kept coming up with new ways to move them, and like the Eldritch Blast, it was so fascinating and fun to see. It was super cool. There, kudos to the crew again. Like that was really awesome.
Really great job, guys. So
yeah, it was really, really cool.
I think we could move on to even just James and Lily trying to describe what they just went through to the rest of the team. I mean, they had to not only go through this disgusting battle, they ended up busting the jar that they were hoping to get. So they had to dig up another body, and thank goodness they didn't get another plant to come after him. But that was a disgusting scene. It was awesomely disgusting. And then they had to go and describe it to the rest of the party. And Lily was just like, I'll have a shot, please. No, like 5 shots. And I think she's kind of repressing all the bad things that are happening to her.
She is. And I loved how, though, like Katie did a really good job at really, I know Trisha mentioned it last on the rundown, like how do you use the imagination of the mind? And I think Katie did a brilliant job at really staying there. Like, no, this is, you guys don't touch it. I mean it. Like, don't touch me. Don't touch it. Like she was, that was so great. Like staying in character. Even to the little when she was like, Jeff like randomly mentioned a worm, like a little white worm on it. And she's like, I picked the worm off. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
But I love how they described it. And Katie mentioned on the live stream that she knows that Lily's kind of suppressing. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe, just maybe that was a little glimpse of like, all right, now this is my line. This is too much. So maybe we're going to see Katie kind of, or Lily kind of explode in some form of fashion.
I know. She's gone through an awful lot of stuff over, I don't know what the timeline would be. I think it'd probably be over the past week and a half, maybe. I guess is that how it would have been. But she's gone through quite a lot, and keeping this wonderful, happy-go-lucky personality is that it's gonna eat her up inside. Character, like as a character, I would figure it eat her up inside. It should, just for anybody, really. And we've seen how it's affecting some other characters, like Civ. Whenever he got out of that big orc battle, he was like, I need some alone time. Nobody mess with me. I'm gonna go have quite a few drinks. And Lily was like, that's kind of not a good idea. Well, now she's starting to hit the bottle. And so I'm kind of wondering, maybe she's gonna start breaking soon. I don't know. And I'm curious to see how she would break too.
I'm on the edge of my seat to find out, honestly. Yeah, like I think because she's like she said, that's her superpower. So it's like, what is going to take to make her break, and how? Like you said, like how is it going to come out? And it's so, I'm on the edge of my seat, waiting to see when and if and how. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. When that day comes, it'll be a bomb for sure, and it'll be a big topic to talk about. So,
and that brings to kind of a nice segue to managing to contain themselves for the first time in a long time. The argument between Ugo and Fahima.
Oh my gosh.
It was beautiful. I loved it. I would say one of my top 5 confrontations. It was.
I would agree. I would really agree. And I think that's the best confrontation that Fahima and Ugo, or even really true nitty gritty down to the soul conversation that they have had between the two of them this entire series. And I think it's just because they've grown up. Both of them have grown up quite a bit to where they really they're able to make that kind of connection to each other by talking through their differences.
And not even just growing up as people, but I think it's a lot more of knowing and understanding each other as people.
Yes.
Fahima knowing more how Ugo thinks and functions, and Ugo knowing more about how Fahima functions. It helps them kind of, understand each other. So they're like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from. I'm not going to just go off the handle. And I literally printed it, guys, because I'm that person. I wanted to read.
But I handwrite it. So, I'm a little bit more archaic than you are.
No, you're more awesome than I am. I just, my handwriting's. But I wanted to kind of quote Jessica Lynn Parsons posted something on the Discord, and I thought it was a perfect description of their argument. So I'm gonna read it, because that's what I'm gonna do. She said, the greater point of this encounter was about feeling powerless, and Fahima felt that she was given some power over her situation, and it wasn't supported by Ugo. Ugo countered that he sees Fahima as very powerful, and there lies the dissonance. Ugo expected Fahima to feel power the same way he does, with strength. Fahima expected to have power over the situation using her brain. Classic conundrum of a barbarian and wizard working together, and that conflict is bound to happen. We are in a story where there's so much heart between the characters, and we acknowledges these differences and play them out in storytelling. So beautifully well said. And because it's true. It's there. The thing I loved about this argument was there was no right or wrong. There really wasn't. It was just a matter of perspective.
Yeah, I really think so, because from Ugo's perspective, it was, I got to keep Civ out of that ring so he doesn't regress. And Fahima's perspective is exactly what you said. And so I think their expectations out of giving Fahima that power were different. And so that's where the communication breakdown was.
Yeah. And I think, I will say though, for me, I was 100% relating to Fahima in that moment, because I thought it was kind of, and again, I'm speaking for myself, I thought it was kind of out there that Ugo and Civ both said, hey, Fahima, you're in charge. Like that wasn't like something that's occurred before. And I think she was kind of like, oh wow, like this is my moment. And I think them putting her in charge, I think that really encouraged her and motivated her to kind of step out of her comfort zone and take that charge position that she hasn't before. And yeah, I can see in the moment she played it so well. Like in the moment, she was trying to find her words, because we know she's not the most charismatic character, you know, and she's sitting there and she's getting ready to do it, and then Ugo just. So I can see from Fahima's point of view, where she was just like, and it's gone, and that like such like a. I just felt the like disappointment in her character.
And I don't think she's really had much of an opportunity to really be in charge of someone's life, other than Meep, of course, and maybe her fire elementals. But I don't think she's had much of an opportunity to be a leader her entire life. I mean, before she joined this party, she was just with her dad, kind of a thing. So, being in charge of human beings and ensuring that their life is going to be safe, or at least she's wanting to step out of her comfort zone even a little bit more and try to use that charismatic stuff and talk them out of this horrible situation that is really hard to talk out of. Like even Lily, I think, would have struggled with this situation. I think it was just difficult. So of course she wants to choose her words carefully, and Ugo just jumping in there was not helpful. I would say that would be a strike against him, but also at the same time, Fahima getting overly frustrated at the whole situation and just shutting down is a strike against her as well. So it was kind of even balanced argument.
For me, that's why I thought it was beautiful, because if you switch to Ugo's point of view, Ugo's plan was to keep Civ out of the pit. Ugo was helping. He wasn't leading per se. He was helping by getting into the pit. So for him, it was more like, Fahima's, why didn't you join me? You're the leader. You're supposed to back me up. Like, I don't think in his mind, he wasn't taking leadership away from her. He was being like he was being supportive of Fahima, aka the leader in that moment. And because he views her as the most powerful, he wanted her to join the fray a little bit. So it's beautiful, because there's no, like I said, there's no right or wrong. For me though, I don't know who said it in chat. I don't know how to pronounce names.
Oh no.
Fimic 5. I suck, guys. But he said a comment of Fahima may be the leader but not the talker. And this is kind of where I personally am siding. I have more of the viewpoint of Fahima in the sense of, if you're telling me to lead, you stand behind me and you wait until I speak. You know, like give me the chance, whether I hesitate or not. Give me the opportunity to try to talk them out of it. I don't care if it's taking me 5 minutes. Give me the space.
Something that is in the way that James talks, something that he does is generally he'll do a lot of talking. Like if it's not Lily trying to talk them out of something, it's usually James when it comes to making group decisions like that. That's what I usually see. And for him, whenever he needs to say something, he'll actually do an interjective or hold on a moment or something like that. So it's a place marker to say, I have something to say, but I want to choose my words carefully. And if Fahima would adopt that, I think she would get the amount of time she needed to make her word choice and say it properly.
Potentially. I also want to take just 10 seconds to point out that maybe everyone's giving Whitebeard so much credit. Who's to say Fahima couldn't have talked Whitebeard out of it? Who's to say? But apparently Whitebeard is such a badass, you know? I guess Jared can't, you know, no one can deny that he's a badass, I guess. Just had to say that.
It's only because you're a fan of him, that's all.
I am not a fan. I am the fan.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry. But do you want to? So I do want to quickly. We have so much to cover.
Oh yes.
The potential tardy plunder.
I know.
So there's a huge theory going around on the Discord that the ship that they just acquired is going to be named the tardy plunder because it was tardy plundering theories. What's your like he names the ship that due to how he got it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's brilliant. I mean, he acquired a ship because the guy was late on his payments and he basically plundered the guy, or it was from whatever escapade they went on. Could have been plundering, who knows? And so I think that's a really smart idea. And maybe he gifts that ship to his son. Maybe he's actually proud of his son, who knows? But the way the son was talking about whenever it was playing with his doll, I don't remember what it was. Was it a dolphin or something like that?
Yeah,
he was kind of fearful of his dad. So I don't know if he's actually proud of his son or not.
You know, that is a theory for a different day. I am a huge proponent. We had no idea the relationship between Whitebeard and Blowhard. And I think that's like what's driving me crazy is because I know that Jeff kind of had that as a storyline and it's the one thing that we don't know. But everyone's assuming that it is Whitebeard's fault. And maybe it is, but who's to say that his son wasn't some, like, you know, he grew up and he became jealous of his father. And because like, he said a lot of times, like, he always comes in and steals the fight. He steals this, he does everything. Who knows? Maybe it was Blowhard who messed everything up and not White. I don't know. I'm just saying there are a lot of assumptions out there and not much facts. Okay? Well, he could have been a great dad.
I am thinking whenever we go see the Castle Rum, we're going to see a lot of, I think we're going to see a little bit more about the relationship between the two of them because we're going to the Castle Rum. Jeff made a big deal about pint sips going around the Castle Rum. I mean, I think we're going to see how all this came about. And I am wondering if Blowhard was the one that saved the ship, basically. And maybe whenever he's a teenager, he steals a tardy plunder. I don't know.
Who knows? I'm really excited to find out. I don't even, again, that's a good theory. But I mean, who knows if he's even the tardy plunder? Who knows?
I don't know.
He gave it to him. If it was stolen from him, who? No, I doubt it was stolen from him because, you know, Whitebeard. But
yeah. The way Jeff has twists and backstory stuff, we can guess all day long, but he's still going to take every one of us by surprise.
I know, and I love it.
Oh,
speaking of surprise, can we talk about the Hag?
Yes, let's talk about that Hag.
So again, thank you, Kaz and fan names I can't pronounce. I literally printed your amazing transcription.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, of course, frickin' Civ's first question is, should we freaking kill Whitebeard? And I literally actually freaked out when Jeff took like more than a second to answer. I was like, it's time. Are we gonna do this? I'm like, deathly afraid. I'm sorry. I know it's just me and like Snake Master, but whatever.
Well,
But
the thing
I think
if they do kill Whitebeard, it puts a huge twist in the story, and we might have to backtrack quite a bit. So that would prolong the amount of dungeon run we watch. But if they don't kill Whitebeard, that keeps everything safe for the timeline they want to get back to. Well, so I mean, I'm kind of for both because I want to see the effects of it, but at the same time, we've gone so far since then, and I don't want to backtrack that far.
Yes. So I think it's safe to say, though, it's a long transcription, but I think we can agree that Hag was saying, if you kill Whitebeard, things change.
Yes. Yes.
I think everybody's in pretty. He worded it amazingly. I love his last. Just to give Jeff, I want to know, Jeff, if you freaking planned this. Or did he say this on the spot? I bet
he planned this. I bet he planned this. I bet he wrote out a set of questions, probably 20 different questions of what they could potentially ask and go, I'm going to make answers for these and then I will be ready. And anything else I can just kind of fill in because I have a feeling that's how he builds his worlds.
Yeah, I think we can definitely agree that he's saying it'll change. I just love the way he said, I do not recognize the unrecognizable. Do you like the unrecognizable you? That was great. So I do. Oh my gosh. So I'm actually gonna read a little bit of James. Sorry, bear with me, people, because this was just so exciting. So when James said, oh nope, I lied. We're gonna do. James asked 2 questions. James is on it this time. James, when he said, "Is Conroy Tag alive?" Okay, so there are some different theories on this. But basically, when the Hag said, they're still years away from his greatest discovery, but the bigger question is, when will you know? Long story short, my theory, and there were a few amazing theories on there, my theory is straight up that the Hag is referring to Fahima. And like he hasn't discovered either Fahima or the wish of Fahima, whatever, however that.
I could probably concur with that. And I think it's more along the lines of what is Fahima? I mean, he obviously knows who is Fahima, but why did Fahima come into existence? Because could you imagine wishing for a daughter and all of a sudden, boof, you have a baby right next to you and you talk to a genie about it? I mean, if you're a guy like Conroy Tag is, who likes to study beasts and creatures and all the different things about them, I think that would be his greatest mystery to solve. So that might be his greatest discovery.
Yeah.
And figuring out like what really is what is Fahima truly, because she's part fire genasi and they kind of figured that out already, but they don't really know what that really means. And we've gotten hints that she's going to be supremely powerful and all this stuff.
That's an interpretation. There's no facts that she's going to be super powerful. That's an interpretation.
No. The mage talked about it, and she said, and also Fahima, whenever she had some sort of premonition, I think it was from something she drank at one point in time, she was incredibly powerful, and she like had the universe in her hand or something like that. I can't remember it.
I don't know, but be careful about what's in secret rooms. The cast is in here.
I am so sorry. So sorry. I forgot that was in a secret room. I will be better about that.
But I'm pretty sure Fahima said it out loud, so it's not like. But okay. To James's other question, freaking.
No, Jared. No, she's not. No, she's not the Ashen Mage. No. I totally disagree with that.
Well, there are people who were saying that there are so many theories about what that could have meant. But when James freaking asked, I don't know, James, I freaking love your character. So when he said, what do you know about me? And the Hag specifically says, where's my favorite part? Okay, but it is never devoid of cost. And this is where you are the same. You and she. The funky librarian dances in the dark, thinking he's alone. But the dance began a long time ago in the light, airy music of regret. I have so many comments.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to back it up a little bit on that little part right there. It says, you are not the first You are not the first to bargain your worth. When one is so old and so great, one need not offer power. I think that has to do with Squillish for sure.
Yeah, Squishy.
But regress is as powerful as promise as progress. I'm thinking that this is kind of a, she was talking about how old this is, like when one is so old, or words. Okay, so regress is as powerful as it's not is as powerful a promise as progress. I'm thinking that goes back to the War of Ideas. Actually, I think that this deal that was made is that old, and I'm thinking that maybe the Ashen Mage is actually that old. I mean, aren't there some sort of spell or potion or something that can help prolong life to live that long for a human type? Because obviously there were dwarves that are still alive from that, but she looked more human, right?
See, and I feel like,
and she was gray in the face.
The first part of that, because like I feel that's all D&D knowledge and speculation, and I'm just like, I remember the first time on Discord, everyone was like, and I won't say too much because it's in the no cast zone, but they were debating the contents of James's of Squishy, and I'm just like, I don't know what any of y'all are talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna assume you have some. I don't know. I feel that's D&D knowledge that I'm still learning. So I wish I could like.
I could look into it, but I know there are some other D&D gurus in the chat possibly that would know more about lengthening your ability to age, you know, not having to age near as quickly and stuff, and living longer and such. So
I definitely agree. Even I picked up that she was clearly referring to something about Squalish. She was dropping some hints.
Right. I think this deal was made before the War of Ideas with Squillish.
That's interesting, though.
And that maybe because he was the footnote in a book, that was his way of surviving through the War of Ideas, possibly.
I don't know. That's interesting.
I don't know. Because they didn't know no knowledge after whatever the Big Bang happened. I mean, all text and stuff just kind of disappeared is what my understanding is, right?
I don't know.
There's so much.
Everything about that is so like speculation. I can't wait for Jeff to really like slowly feed us some of that, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah,
all I know, well, I'll just say it because I was gonna this is the first time we've gotten a hint about James's storyline, and I just have no idea. I have no idea. When it says you are the same, you and she, there's so many theories on the Discord already, whether some people think it's Calcutta Feed, some people think that someone, I thought it was cute, someone said that maybe there was another female in the library when James looked at the footnote and she got involved. Maybe there's maybe there is someone that James isn't telling anyone about, and James just wants to keep all the secrets.
Maybe it's his twin sister Leia.
You never know. No, because here's the thing. James is not confused. Yes, I'm watching you, Morgan, because when the hag said this started long ago in the airy music of regret, James reacted very strongly to that. So I think that has something to do with something that James either hasn't said or maybe about his past murder. I don't know, but
I think
James is keeping something.
I think he is. I don't think he's ready to tell. I mean, he's already like really trying to get himself to be totally honest and to, you know, little piece by piece, give that kind of information. And it's hard for him. It's really hard for him. And so for something this juicy, this big, probably, I think that's going to take some time.
See, I disagree with that. I think James is slowly, again, we're unofficially, we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think, personally, James is slowly coming to a point where he's wanting the party to know, because he didn't know what the hag was going to say. And here's why I think this. He didn't know what the hag was going to say. Yes, we are very officially unofficial. when he started that whole thing by saying, Civ, thank you for the poem. I've never had friends. That was basically him saying, I appreciate you guys. You're about to find out something nasty about me. Hey, what do you know about me? And I
Oh,
think he was,
yes. That
that's
is
what
his
I
pattern,
think.
isn't it?
Yes, I think he was ready. He was ready to have something revealed about himself in front of the party. I don't know if that worked the way he wanted it to, but oh my God, it's so fascinating.
Gordon
James,
Peter is,
fucking,
is nodding.
just yeah. See, I know somewhat of like Morgan's thought process because I bug Morgan so much about it. Yeah, he definitely was. He wanted something to be shared there. I don't know if it was what he got or what he wanted, but yeah, he knows the information that Hag is sharing. Now whether he's going to tell the freaking party that or not, I don't know. But I'm so upset. I have no theories. I'm just like I have no idea what the Hag was talking about. For the first time, I have no speculation. It's driving me crazy.
I know. And once again, thank you to everyone who deciphers these things or at least writes them down in a script every single time, because particularly when the Hag is talking, wow, I have to like go back and it takes me 30 minutes to go, okay, what did the Hag say? So that way I can kind of go through it. And it's really decryptive initially because the Hag's voice is actually pretty cool. I like that too.
I love.
So it's so distracting sometimes.
I have another question, but I do want to make sure we have time for like everything else. Just quickly for you and for the chat. Am I, because this might be a D&D thing, I don't know, or maybe I don't know. My first thought when they wanted to release the Hag was, isn't that dangerous? If
Oh yeah.
if something bad happens every time someone looks at her, you want her just like walking around the town? And I'm really confused at what their plan is once they release her. Just me?
No, I think a lot of people are probably feeling the same way. I don't think sea hags are usually used a whole lot, but I'm not really super knowledgeable on that. But I do know if you look at a sea hag, it's really bad stuff. But I don't know what bad stuff happens.
Ages 13 is like drunk, no plan. So true. Probably.
Yeah. Well, I was actually kind of hoping that Monkey Uggo would actually go ooh, ooh, and roll very badly and actually look at it because I really wanted to see what would happen. And
I know.
I think him in monkey form would have actually been not so bad. Maybe in orc form that would have been really dangerous, but who knows what happens. I think it might possibly be mind control, but I don't know. Or maybe you just go insane.
I don't know. Someone told me what might happen, but it's Jeff, and I love how Jeff puts his own homebrew spin on it. So who knows? I just remember we were all sitting in chat. Just like, look at her. So me and Grimpade specifically were like, can someone just look at her? We need to know.
You want to.
Also, 3 more things, and then we're gonna move to trivia because I'm super excited about trivia. But I do want to say, when it comes to Uggo, if anyone else disagrees with me, let me know. We can talk about it. But long story short, I think the Hag basically just said that him and his brother they're gonna meet up and fight. That it's not gonna. They're gonna meet up. I think that's. Are we all on the same page on that?
I would agree on that, as well as, I mean, it's coming. It was kind of hinted at earlier anyways. It's gonna come. I think it's totally gonna come.
I think that it's gonna be a rough fight. Yes, I'm hoping you're on.
I think it's gonna be a knockdown, drag out fight. The one that's gonna make us all just sweat for the whole evening. It's gonna be a ridiculous fight.
His brother's gonna be nasty. His brother's gonna be something. There's so many theories about Ron, and I know James, like his storyline, like is huge in the no cast zone. But we've discussed your brother, and so there are so many theories about your brother and how he fits in, and just like it's amazing. Some of the theories are pretty fascinating. Before we go into trivia, though, I do want to mention, because it was also a huge part, and I thought it was funny. One of my personal highlights of the episode was when I'm backing up a little bit, when they were getting the maybe tardy plunder, and they were like, we need ink, and Freeman was like, I conjure up ink and a quill, and in chat, I don't know who said it, but someone in the live chat was like, oh great, this is perfect because now the ink will disappear in a few hours. And I was like, brilliant, smart. That was you? I was like,
Yeah.
brilliant, smart. And then 2 seconds later, she's like, make him write it in blood. And I busted. I was like, well, there goes that amazing idea.
That was a
so
shocker
funny.
for sure. Like, make him write it in his own blood. That coming from Fahima, I was my jaw dropped on think on that one.
What I was really laughing at is if I'm hoping maybe Gorbin Plade can do a GIF of it or something. When they're going back and forth with when Ugo's like, I stabbed him in the shoulder, and he was like, make him write it in blood. It was actually Jared / Sib who's literally just like, what? Okay, like this isn't coming from me, it's coming from you two. Which I definitely think makes it easier for Civ to do Civ stuff when everyone else is kind of joining in. But anyway, I just had to say that because that was sometimes being in chat is so fun, like the comments, and I didn't know that was your comment. That's hilarious. I thought that was really funny. Yeah, so I wanted to share that too. That part was hilarious.
It could have been cool. Like, if it would have disappeared, then they could have just written their name on the deed, and then it actually says our name, or the guy could have gotten his boat back. So
ship back. Yeah, that. I actually thought that was what Jared's original plan was when he handed the papers to Fahima. I thought he was trying to be like, hey, we'll take our own boat type thing. That I don't know if that's what Jared Sid was thinking or not, but that's what I would have been thinking. But yeah, are we ready to bring Gorbin Plade in and do some amazing
bring him
trivia?
in. Come on.
While he's coming in, instead of doing your usual trivia today, hi Kurt.
Hello.
I'm trying not to be at a 14, so bear with me.
I got to get myself ramped up to meet your energy level.
I know. So instead of doing the typical, which is amazing, trivia is amazing in general, but I decided since we had one of the GIF gods on today himself, I thought it would be fun for today's trivia to be GIF based. So Gorbin Plade is actually going to host the trivia section today. And it's going to be exciting. Are you ready? Oh my God!
Man!
Oh my goodness!
Okay, so this is how it's gonna play out.
I'm ready.
So this is how it's gonna play out. It's FailWaffle versus myself, and so we'll take turns on trying to guess what scene this is from, and any extra questions that may come from the GIF. And if neither of us can get it, chat gets a chance.
Yeah.
That sound right?
Cool.
Yes. Okay, so let's
before we jump in, I have a little service to do because I told my kids that I was going to do this, and they were bummed that they couldn't be here. So they wanted me to show some pictures of them with their favorite characters.
Oh,
so
there you go, and then and I did the research.
So sweet.
Margaret is the exact same size as Lily is, so that is to scale. Anyway,
oh man!
How cute is that?
All right, so let's jump in.
Dungeon
Run Trivia.
Okay.
GIF edition.
Okay.
All right. So
ready.
Yes, here we go. So I've got some GIFs to show, and I'm going to ask a question. Who's starting out first? Or is it a free-for-all? I forget.
No. We'll take turns.
Okay, cool.
Ingrid, do you want to go first?
Sure. You're totally gonna win at this, so might as well give me a fighting chance here.
I hope so.
So first one. What?
Sir, go ahead.
What animal?
Question.
What animal did Fahima? This is kind of a two-parter. What animal did Fahima polymorph into? And what was its intelligence score?
Oh, I'm only gonna get 50% of this. She polymorphed into I know there's a difference between a toad and a frog, but I'm gonna say a frog. And I'm gonna guess the intelligence score is 6.
Okay. It was a toad, not a frog. It was a toad.
Right.
And I'm going to say his intelligence was 1 or 2. I'm going to say 2.
It's a 2. That's right.
Oh.
Just with the steal, yes. It's a giant toad, and the intelligence was a 2.
Oh
So,
my God.
so there you go.
So
I'm giving it more credit than it needed.
Point FailWaffle.
Okay,
Next one.
let's do this.
Let's see. Next
This
one.
is
Here we
me when
go.
I'm behind the screen, everybody. This is
Okay.
Okay,
So
your turn.
this one might be a little easy. To whom is Lily speaking?
She's speaking to Torvald.
There you go. That's true. And
On her little.
and the second part question of this is, at what rate of speed was the rest of the party falling?
With speed?
Yeah.
60 miles per hour. I don't know.
It was 60 feet per round, right? So that's 6 seconds. So it's 10 feet per second. I believe that's.
I got
that's what it
60
is.
correct. I don't.
Yeah.
I got the measurement wrong, but
Chat is probably like, no, you're wrong, but whatever. Anyway, next one. Next one.
Okay.
Wait, are you? Am I getting it or no?
Yes, you got that. You got the Torvald. That was an easy one. Okay.
Okay.
So just more of an open-ended one. What's going on in this GIF,
Okay.
and why? I guess.
Oh, this is whenever they're under the ocean, and Squillace has told James not to take any advantages or fortunes of good from the time stream. And
That's
so
right.
this is him saying no thank you to it and being quite upset because it's really putting the party at a disadvantage here. But he has to take all disadvantages and forces of evil.
Correct. I love this GIF because it's the disdain in that look is just amazing. Okay.
I love it, and I was a little confused. I was like, for a second, I was like, did James say Death Stare in 3, 2, 1? I was like, no, he added that.
That's me. That's me.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So points. Good job.
Good for you.
I got a point.
Good job.
Next one.
Okay.
To whom is Lily speaking in this?
So you have a full war situation set up. Oh, okay. Okay, it's coming back to me. Y'all have to remember, I have never rewatched an episode, so it just takes a minute to come back. So you have a full war situation set up. Oh my God, oh my God, guys, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna get it wrong. I can't get things wrong. So you have a full I remember. I literally picture her saying, "Who's she speaking to?" She's speaking to. I'm making this up. I don't think I'm right. She's speaking to Fesh.
She is speaking to Prim.
Wait, I get. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna get to steal. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't even know the rules.
You can go twice. You can go twice.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Dang it. That's
all
right.
And
she's
maybe we'll give you the chance to get 2 points on this next one, then, Ingrid. How about that?
Oh.
Yeah, just let her
sure
do that, or let her go twice. It's fine.
Because this will be this next one will be a 2-parter.
Okay.
So what was Lily's persuasion check that got them into Delta Thum?
Oh, FailWaffle got a bit excited on that one.
Oh wow, that's a game foul. That's a -1 on the score.
No.
31. I'm gonna say 31.
It's 30.
It's 30. Yeah.
So close. Okay, and what's the other part of it?
This is the action. That's the answer right there. She's slow played 30. I love that too. So cocky.
So good. So good.
All right. So who's
okay? No, she gets to go again. So she'll just go.
Okay. Okay. All right. Whose vision presaged the lighting of the torches on the path to the 4 former forges?
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Sure. Whose vision? I think it was from the clam juice. Presaged the lighting of the torches on the path to the 4 former forges.
Oh. Oh. Man, that's a detail that
That's a tough one, yeah.
That's a tough detail. Okay. Who didn't drink the clam juice?
We do have a time limit on this.
Oh, okay. I'm
Just
gonna
kidding.
go
I'm
with.
100%
I'm gonna go with.
time.
I'm gonna go with Lily. I'm gonna go with Lily.
It's
was-
Sam.
Oh,
That's right. That's right. Good job, Fail.
I love trivia. I can't stress enough.
Next one. Why is Jeff ripping up this paper?
Oh, that's easy. You take it, Ingrid.
And yeah.
Take it, Ingrid.
Because Civ managed to kind of talk their way out of fighting the flock on the first encounter, and so the entire encounter was just null after that.
You got both parts of that question. The next one was how did it happen? And look at that. You got the next part too.
He basically was like,
good for
"Here's a
you.
bunch of money. I'm paying you to not fight us. Here you go. Go away."
All right,
Yeah.
let me look if there's any other good ones. Let's see.
That was a beautiful
I'll skip
scene.
ahead one. Oh, where's that coming from? No, that one's that's not in the trivia. That's a mistake. Okay.
You did that on purpose.
You've been immortalized in a GIF, FailWaffle.
No, I can I go back to it?
No.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Go
crazy.
It's beautiful.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
So
Okay,
name the NPC. Name Jeff's NPC.
Ooh. Okay. Go, Ingrid.
Yeah, it's Ingrid. So.
No. It's totally you because you
No,
had me
it's
go.
No, I'm trying to give this to you. Go. I'm gonna use the restroom.
Okay.
If she doesn't get it, give it to chat. I'm gonna use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
That's what we get for going live, people.
Okay.
Hold on.
So this is when Lily dressed herself as a pirate on Whitebeard's jetty, and so she figured out that the pirate she was disguising herself as had a partner, and she was trying to convince them to leave kindly, and so kind of made it as a bromance type thing. But I can't remember the guy's name.
You can't remember that?
No, I'm terrible with names.
Not any of them. Not even Lily's. The one that Lily is just dressing up as or presenting to be.
I can't tell you.
I see a lot of folks in chat giving the person that Lily is dressing up or pretending to be.
Oh, okay. I see chat. It says Trevor. Okay.
A few they're getting it right.
No.
So it's Trevor. Yes, Trevor is the NPC. Lily is being Hicklefest.
Aww.
So
that was a really good scene. It was so funny.
Did Jess explode? Where did she go?
Oh,
she exploded from excitement.
Yeah.
That's okay. We could just you and me. We can jam.
Okay.
Let's do some.
Here she comes.
These. Okay. Oops, wrong one. There she is.
Oh, no, it was a full-on romance.
Why does Uggo attempt to grapple Jane?
What's the question?
Why is Uggo attempting to grapple Jane? Because he didn't wash his hands. oh no, that's Nimitz talking. Okay, sorry.
I don't know. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah, Morgan, you definitely know. Seared in your brain.
The Christmas episode too. I know that episode. Go to Mr. Grapple James.
Oh, Santa got angry that day.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Ingrid, you can steal it. Why the hell did he get mad?
He wanted to grapple James because he wanted to talk to James, and James didn't want to talk, but he wanted to talk about something that was bothering James, and I think it had to do with Squillace.
That's right.
Man, you're dancing around it.
I know. I can't.
I'll give you a half point. He grappled James.
I don't can't answer them.
You already said I don't know. Vandurslice. You're giving Vandurslice the steal. Come on,
Yeah,
come on
she
now.
has
Play
it.
by the rules. It's because because he had like an
Yes.
18 perception check that he saw James kind of blink out of existence for a second.
Yes.
So he's like,
yeah.
I just
Yeah,
that
but he was
whole
very
beautiful
upset.
Something to
scene.
do with the cellar and Squillace visiting, but I forgot that James blinked out of existence for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although
Yeah, that
he always, has he missed one? I think he's seen every single one of every single time that Morgan or that James has.
Yeah, I
seen
think so.
Squillace.
I think
It's
all but one. But yeah, he's
Did he
seen
see him in
most. He's
Bingo?
seen
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
crazy,
he saw him
crazy
Bingo.
town.
But the one time he didn't see, I think, was whenever James did that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that bubble of coldness on the inside with the tentacles and stuff.
Oh yeah. That's right. He was
That
there.
he did by himself on the salvage manor deck, and so no one was there, and so he was at like 1 hit point after that.
Yeah, and that was James voluntarily,
Yes, James went to say go see Squillace,
giving him a piece of his mind
chat.
versus
Okay.
Squillace coming in and snapping him up kind of thing. All right, let me get ahead. Are we done?
I just want to be able to talk to you guys first.
Oh,
and
sure,
we're running on an hour.
Hey,
but I want to be able to do my interview thing.
Okay.
Do one more for
one more
free fall.
One more
for the audience. For the audience.
Okay.
I don't know how the audience is doing.
This one?
But I do want to.
This one's a good one.
There goes my idea of selling
what
it
does
for
Civ
a
want
large
to sell
profit.
here? What does Civ want to sell here? Oh, chat's all over it. I thought this was going to be a good one. Chat's all over it.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I could be wrong. Wait, you're looking at the chat?
I am.
Are you cheating?
No, I'm not intentionally cheating. I knew I wasn't going to get it.
I think I could be wrong, but isn't he talking about like meat in the very beginning?
Yes. This is episode 2.
Yeah, and he was like,
meat. Yeah.
He's so obsessed.
So anyway.
So okay, so who won?
I
don't know. I can't see the score.
I imagine everyone did. We all won because gifts are fun.
I do want to say before we do the interview with the watcher, now that you guys have physically seen my excitement level, this is why when I type Jared, if he's still here, when I do the trivia, this is why half of my answers don't make sense because I'm just so excited. I'm just like typing like a maniac. Just so you know, that's why. I'm not drunk. I'm just drunk on life. Okay, I'm drunk on life.
I'm just casually flipping through the ones that we didn't get.
You did such a wonderful job on all these gifts. There's so many.
Don't use them all. We're gonna play again.
Yeah, we got to do this another time.
Yeah,
you realize I have like 1,200 of these, so
that's okay.
We're good. But
I'm gonna kick Snake Master's ass at trivia one of these days, so we can add some of that in there.
Ooh, PG,
it's a family show. #family show.
Is that still this family enough? They say okay.
No.
You need me to go back to my kids?
I'm gonna hug Snake Master so hard. That's very cute.
Keep it friendly. All right. Get rid of
sorry.
Thank you.
I am high on life, Jared. I'm very high. I'm high on the dungeon run. Okay. I had sponsors, but I didn't have time to ask Dice to put like the gifts and stuff on it, and I didn't want to just.
You wanted to do it with good quality and give it to its fullest. I
have so many cheesy advertisements. I promise you, it is not for the lack of having them. They are there. Next time, great. I'm sorry to let you down. Okay, so I did want to kind of sit and talk to you two for the interview of the washer part, and just kind of. I know you're Vandurslice. You've kind of been a lurker that's decided to recently show your amazing, beautiful face. So I kind of want the community to get to know you two a little bit better. So why don't you guys tell me, if you didn't on the live stream, how did you find out about the dungeon run and what specific moment hooked you?
You go ahead, Gordon.
Oh, great. I found out about the dungeon run through Jeff. I've been a follower of his, supporter of his in his other endeavors. The newest, latest, best thing. I was a that donated to, or funded that a little bit. A couple bucks or whatever. We have turns left. I mean, all the things. This new thing, and I didn't need a new thing. There are a lot of shows, there are a lot of things. So I was like, but then he kept talking about it, and kept talking about it, and kept talking about it. I was like, okay, this must be cool, because he's like super passionate about getting people to watch it. And so I got in like episode 9 or 10, and it was awesome. And so that was my thing. That it was, episode 3, I think, was when I was like, oh goodness, this is amazing. So yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you?
I started at about episode 5. So my husband was watching some D&D stuff because we had we had to stop our campaign that we were doing, our incredibly hard campaign of Hell on Earth. We had to stop it because I volunteer for First Robotics. And so I'm gone like half of the year every single Saturday. And it just became like too much to do a D&D group and the volunteering. So he was watching a bunch of different kinds of D&D things because he wanted to learn more about it. And I was interested in it too, but I wasn't interested enough to do research. Well, while he was watching all these different things on YouTube, he saw the advertisement that they had on YouTube for it. So he thought, I'll just watch it. And so I think he started watching it on episode 2. And so he got caught up and he was like, oh, this is good. This is really good. And so he goes, Ingrid, you need to watch this. And I said, I don't know. I've got enough shows that I have juggling right now, because I like to keep maybe 5 in my juggling of shows with various different things. You get a cop show, you get a comedy show, you get a sci-fi, keep it well balanced in there.
Diverse it out.
Yeah, diverse it out. And so I never really thought about having a D&D show. And I was like, well, it's probably just a bunch of people trying to make decisions, and it's a bunch of just, it's not going to have a lot of good flow. But I decided to give it a shot. So I watched the first episode while I was at work on a really slow day, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And so I watched it all the way through episode 4, and I was caught up, and I was like, I have to know what happens next. And so that's when we decided to start watching it live. And we've been doing that ever since. And so there's some times where we might have to watch it, like half of it another time on YouTube, or maybe we have to just miss it entirely. But for the most part, we've been watching almost every single episode live, and also the rundown. And so it's been an absolutely wonderful show to watch. I love all the character development and how smooth this feels with all the improv and everything. And I think it's just wonderful. And now I've started following the characters on Twitter, and so all the people on Twitter, and I think it's just so neat to see them and talk to them in real life and stuff like that. So I was super jazzed whenever I was allowed to go and talk on that 1-year anniversary thing a couple weeks ago, and here I am. This is cool.
Yeah.
I do also want to say that I love and think it's really adorable that you and your husband watch it together. I think that's just everything. And I do want to take a quick second, speaking of relationships, I actually want to take a second to shout out our beautiful community member, Jen, who just got engaged yesterday.
Yay!
And we give
Congratulations
to her. Also, I was summoned because I heard that she wanted the community to do a spin on her romance, on how it happened, and I was summoned for that. So I don't know if Jen is still there, but Jen, if you're there, I just want to let you know that I want to offer you an alternative interpretation of your engagement. What really happened was he wasn't drunk. He was high on his love for you, and he was thinking about your angelic eyes and how beautiful you were. And since he just got done playing D&D, and you guys play together and you're so amazing. And he was thinking about how special you were. He couldn't wait till the morning. So he woke you up because he couldn't wait one more second to spend the rest of his life with the most amazing woman in the world. And that is why he woke you up high on love in the middle of the night to propose to you.
That sounds like a good story.
That's what really happened. So congratulations again, Jen. We love you, and that's really awesome. And I'm glad I could tell your engagement story on here. So there you go. Back to you guys. I wanted to surprise her and shout her out. I was summoned to put a romantic spin on her engagement. So that's what really happened for you two, in case you didn't know. My next question I really want to ask you two is, Kurt, this is our moment. This is my moment. Are you ready?
Oh, here's the moment.
Yes. Can you, both of you, but I want to start with Kurt. Can you guys, or whoever, I'm not in charge. I just want to know how you guys came up with your usernames.
Oh yeah. My username is I mean, I think we should have like a drinking game in chat every time I mention my kids in chat, like people drink, because I mention them all the time. My username is an amalgam of my kids' first and middle names. My son's name is Gorbin Plade, and my daughter is Margaret Blade, or Greta Blade. So G from Greta, Orban from Corbin, Gorbin Plade. So that's my username, and yeah, I mean they're kind of everything. So why not have a username for it too?
I think that's adorable. Your relationship with your kids and like especially the way you depicted it in like a fan appreciation video, it just warms everyone's soul. I mean, yes, I'm speaking for everyone now. It just warms everyone's soul. But
it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. It is awesome to be able to watch something with your kids and they love it too. And that's just normal. But then also to have something so interactive and something that spurs discussions with them, and you know, I get them dice and they're like, hey, let's do a thing, and I give them minis and they're like, no, let's do it with Legos. We'll have these Legos be these guys and these Legos be these guys, and let's do this thing. And
so do you DM a party? Do you DM a story for them?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I DM little stories for them. I for what, like 4 months or something like that. Every night that I had them, I was telling them like a fanfic, kind of. It was started as like an episode 0, kind of what my conception of episode 0 was like, and had all the characters, and then I would ask them, you know, what each one would do, and so it was kind of like an entrance into how to play D&D a little bit, but also bedtime story. So that took like 4 months to tell. Anyway, it's just super fun. It's super fun. I mean, come on, it's D&D.
Well, that's what well, I know that Ingrid kind of mentioned it too. So I assume you played D&D before, or was that your first time with your kids? Like, what's your experience with D&D?
My first time. I played D&D like one time, and in high school, and it wasn't even D&D. It was like a Star Wars version of D&D or something like that.
Cool.
And yeah, it was cool. I did it once, and then I didn't get invited back, so I don't know what that felt. But
they were jealous of you and your awesome kids.
Apparently, so then yeah, it was kind of like a thing that was just, you know, I was aware of, and then, you know, Jeff like promoted this thing. I was like, oh yeah, D&D, I remember that, and yeah, so I'm kind of a newbie. I'm a newbie in that regard, but yeah.
Me too. Oh. But that's really cute that like you go through that with your kids. I really
it's really great. Yeah, there are no rules, but it's still cool. So.
I you just see you being all serious, like follow the rules, and your kids are like, we just want to play.
I just want to play.
No, I think that's cute. I wanted to also keep it open-ended. If there's anything that you guys wanted to share, either about yourselves or your experience watching the Dungeon Run, that you wanted to share with the community, I wanted to leave it open for you guys to say something as well.
Ingrid, that sounds like it's teeing you up for something.
Oh, no. I'm not kidding anyone.
No.
Well, I guess I should probably answer the question that you asked both of us is you got to talk about your name. Well, my name is not near as cool as the way you came up with yours. Basically, I just so happened to see this this last name Vandurslice on somebody in my community. And I thought, wow, that is such a really cool last name. And so I like to look at the heritage behind names a little bit. And that one, at some site I saw it was like a Dutch name, and it was actually supposed to be like Vandurslice, and it was supposed to be like long time ago, your last name would kind of depict what your job was. And so this one, Vandurslice, I could be entirely wrong. So anybody who speaks Dutch out there or any other language that could tell me correctly, I could be totally wrong, and it's a-okay. But from what I understand is Vandurslice means floodgate keeper. Basically, they would open and close the floodgates to keep towns safe from extra flooding near ports and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Open the floodgates of imagination. So Vandurslice, but I had to change the spelling the first time I used it on some sort of game site because it said that somebody already existed, and I don't like putting extra numbers on things. So I changed the E in Vandur to a U, and that seems to stick, and no one else has it in any other place. So nobody steal it because I really like it. And I actually have I do kind of a hobby on the side business a little bit. And so I do canning, and I am trying to grow plants right now because I got nothing else better to do.
Ooh,
and so cool. My little company is called Vandurslice Creations. And so it's just basically conglomeration of any weird things that I do. And if I can sell it, cool. If I can't, all right, well, it was a cool hobby.
It was still a cool hobby. That was fun. That was interesting. What do you mean it's not as interesting? That was just as interesting. I feel like
now we all know about Dutch irrigation.
Yeah,
it's important. I legit find your pastimes very interesting. So we'll have to talk about more of that on the side. But we are over time. Does anyone? Yes. Do I ever stick to the time? No. You guys used to it. Do. I hope so. So yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for joining us on this amazing watchers party today. Thank you for putting up with my energy being at a 12. I appreciate that. It's, you get what you get sometimes. But yes, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you, Dyson Capes, again, for letting us stream on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, too, for joining me and making me not talk to myself. I like that.
Thanks to the cast members who partied with us, too. That was awesome.
Yes, I was so happy. Cool. I was so happy they partied with us.
It's just so neat that we don't want to overshadow or take away from the actual dungeon run. We just want to fill in while we can't have the dungeon run down. So
I just like talking about the show.
Yeah, I think this is totally fun. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it, guys.
And we love everyone. Thank you. And obviously, it's important to end the night with humankind.
Be bold.
Wait, let's say.
Yeah. These things too. I don't know how to. There it is.